Welcome to a brand new episode of Red Dot Rondo, a special feature on Back Passt with Ras. And this week, we're shining the spotlight on Albirex Singapore Football Academy. And to speak about them, we've got their Academy Director, Mr. Habil Hakim. How are you doing, Habil?
Hello guys, how are you? All good?
I'm good, man. Thanks for reaching out to us to appear on the show to speak about your academy. So it's a pleasure to have you on the show.
It's a pleasure of mine too. Thank you so much for having me here.
My pleasure. And have you been listening to us?
Yes. I've been listening to all these legends in your podcast, and without them, Singapore football isn't where it is today. Yeah.
Mm.
So it's interesting, their stories.
Thanks for the appreciation and for listening to the episodes as well. But let's just start at Mr. Habil Hakim's journey from the very start. That means from the start of your life.
All right. So I
What
was a
interested
player.
you in football?
I was a player for school and for this
Mm.
time Rover COE, with the late Sivalingam. Yeah, David Sivalingam. So as a player, we train almost every day with one-off days, and Coach Siva was like a father figure to me, and
Mm.
been with him for about 3 years straight in the under 16 to the under 18, and I felt how it is to have a father figure as a coach during our teenage lives. Yeah, to stay disciplined, to stay focused. And then the day when he passed on, it was hard for the team and my teammates. So we kept playing, but I had different ideas. I was into Football Manager, the game.
Okay.
And then I thought, okay, and I love working with kids. So let's go into youth football coaching.
Okay.
And then I did some CDC coaching, weekend coaching, just to
Mhm.
learn about the trade.
How old
Uh,
were you at that time?
at that time, I was 18, 19. Yeah,
All
18,
right. Okay.
19. Yes. And then
And you were coaching kids of how, what age?
8-year-olds,
Mm.
yeah, 6 to 8-year-olds, usually assisting them. Yeah.
Um,
And we used to have this program at Bishan, ITE Bishan, where they have Bishan CDC program, they call it. So shout out to those coaches who introduced me into the game, like Sajid, Shidi, and Mr. Kumar. Just to mention them. So they
yeah.
um, important figures when I just started out with the game, just doing community coaching. Yeah,
Mm.
and I went to NS. After NS, straight away went into my full-time job as a coach with Shoot Football Academy.
Okay.
It's a Japanese academy in
Yeah.
Singapore, led by one good mentor, Mr. Frank Kobayashi.
Ah, yes.
With them for about 5 years,
Mm.
and I regard that as my university of football. So that's where I actually learned a lot about football, about coaching, about management, about managing an academy,
Mm.
as well as a little bit about business development there. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
And let's get all the way right back to the start again, to
Mhm.
when you were a kid. Who inspired you to play football, to get some knowledge about football, to grow the love for the game?
Yeah. I always remembered the time where my dad used to bring us to the old Kallang stadium.
Yeah.
And when you go up the stairs and when you look at the field, the green and the
Mm.
spotlight was like, wow,
Mm.
that's amazing with all the fans. And back in those days, I would say Fandi Ahmad
Okay.
played a huge role to inspire me and my brothers to play football. Uh,
Mm.
we queued for his books. He
Okay.
saw some books, and then he scored some fantastic goals. Yeah,
Yeah.
and of course, our parents were also football supporters back then, traveling to I
Oh,
think Malaysia
nice.
to watch the
Uh,
game. So that kind of worked for us at the
that's
start.
okay. That's the start of your love for football.
Yes, it is. It is.
And your brothers, are they into football? Are they still into football? Did they go along that path?
Yeah, so my brother was a pioneer in the Singapore Sports School batch,
Oh.
together with Safwan and Madhu,
Mm,
Mohana. Yeah, and but right now he's not into football. He's doing
okay.
something else. Yeah,
Mm,
but we still love the game. We still talk passionately about the game when we
all
meet.
right.
Mhm.
Okay. And any favorite football club?
At the moment, I say Albirex because I work for them. Yeah, but at the moment, to be honest with you, Albirex, why is because I went to witness a J League match between Albirex and Urawa Reds just
Mm,
last few months, and it was amazing.
mm,
And for me to work in Albirex Singapore, not so many fans. But when you go over to Japan and you see them with the Albirex jersey and all, wow, it's
mm.
it's huge.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's quite an unconventional answer. I was expecting something like, Manchester United or Liverpool, those kind of clubs.
yeah.
And in your early days, any favorite player? I would say maybe all-time favorite player.
My all-time favorite player. I used to like players like Ricardo Quaresma,
Okay.
Fabio
Yes.
Quagliarella, uh,
Uh,
yeah,
Quagliarella. Yeah.
Fandi Ahmad. Why is because these players are unique in their own way.
Mm,
They create a skill that is different from others.
mm.
So I used to love this kind of players.
Ah, nice, nice.
Mhm.
And you were talking about the COE. Which club was it again that you represented?
It was Tampines Rovers.
Tampines Rovers. All right.
Yes.
And let's give a shout out to the schools you represented as well.
All right. So I was in Changkat Changi Secondary School. Yeah.
Okay.
And to be honest, we are very strong in sepak takraw.
Ah,
So in that year, football just opened. And then I'm sorry to the teachers, but half of the team from Sepak Takraw went on to play football. But we got decent results. Yeah,
mm.
we got decent results. But of course, we had some rift a bit.
Oh,
Uh,
dear.
yeah, with the Takraw team. But all is good. All is good. Yeah.
Primary school?
Primary school, Changkat Changi Primary School also.
Okay.
Yeah. And Mr.
Affiliated? Are the schools affiliated?
Yeah, they're side by side. They're
All
side by
right.
side. Yeah, I was a
Okay.
sleepy boy. And yeah, it was just walking distance to my house. So Changat
Uh,
Changi Primary and Secondary School was a better
when you
choice.
say you're a TP boy, you mean Tampines?
Female boy.
CMA boy, sorry.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
CMA boy. That's where you grew up.
That's where I grew up. Yes.
Nice. And after secondary school?
After secondary school, so I went to ITE to learn some mechanical engineering course, which
Hmm.
I went on to higher NITEC. But after that,
You
I
represent your school in IT? You represent IT, sorry?
yeah, yeah, ITE College Central, that is.
Central.
Yeah,
Oh,
Central.
okay.
Yes, I was from Central,
Uh,
Macpherson. Yeah.
okay, MacPherson in those days, right? Yeah. Not the one in Amokyo now.
Not the one in Ang Mo Kio now, yes. The old one.
Mhm.
Mm.
Okay. So you spoke to us, told us about the start of your coaching journey with
Yeah,
Shoot Football Academy.
right.
Then what happened? What next?
So actually in shoot I learned a lot about the game, especially a lot about coaching kids. You know, basic things like we usually give rewards to the players after the session. But I learned that if we stand up and we, pass the reward, it's better for us to kneel down at the same height of the kids to, pass the rewards. So
Oh,
this is one thing, for example. Another thing is to select those kids-oriented fun activities as a warm-up, and the way we run the session towards kids football. Then from there I learned quite a bit about coaching, especially kids. Rose up from assistant coach to being the academy manager at that point of time, and then F17 comes along. So
okay.
F17 is used to be Fandi Ahmad's
Yeah.
academy. Yeah.
Yeah, I was
So,
going to get to that. So, favorite player, Fandi Ahmad, F17, sounds fated.
you're right. You're right. So I mean, at that point of time, I was building my career, and I thought about it. I thought well, and I thought, who is the best or who is the most famous player in Singapore?
Hmm.
Everybody knows, and there's one name in mind, which is Fandi Ahmad. And then I'm a nobody in the football community,
Fraternity, yeah.
fraternity, and
Yeah.
I said to myself, there's always a need to work hard and prove yourself, and earn, earn a place, earn a right. So I said, okay, the calling came. So instead of me applying for a job, I got offered for a job, which is a dream.
Hmm.
And then I said yes, and I went on to F17, and from there I met Mr. Fandi Ahmad himself.
Wow.
Then I gave him a promise. I said, look, I'm gonna do a good job. I'm not gonna fail you, and keep a good name of this academy. And then didn't turn back. So gave my best. Stayed there for about 6 years. Uh, um, Maintained the fort through COVID times and all. So yeah, it was a good experience there.
Was that the first time you saw Fandi in person?
In person, when I was a kid, that's where I asked him to sign an autograph of the book. So,
Okay.
so that's not considered the first time, but as a young adult in the career in football, talking about football, yes. At that point of time, he was with Lions 12.
Hmm.
And I tell you, he's such a humble guy. He's
Yeah.
such an inspiration. The way he talks to you, the way he understands your career path, and he wants to guide. He invited us, myself, the coaching team, to some of his talks where he shared a little bit more about football.
Hmm.
He invited me to the Lions 12 just to observe the training, but share a lot of insights of how he plans his training and all. One of the most respected figures in my football personalities.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great to have that insight, in fact.
Yeah.
And then you, from F17, now you're here, you are,
Yes,
Albirex.
so from F17, so I got actually an offer in Japan for three
Oh,
years. Yeah. But COVID came and they locked down the
borders.
borders and airport, and they weren't,
Which club, which academy or club was it in Japan?
FC Toreros. Yeah, his
Okay.
name is FC Toreros, the youth team, youth academy. But the offer
Doesn't
was,
sound very Japanese, the team name.
yeah. But the offer was good for myself. Again, anything beyond is extra for me. Is just a dream. So
Mm.
they offered a house there in Tokyo,
Wow.
within walking distance to the training ground. So I was so looking forward to it. And then COVID came, so continued to hustle. And in God's will, I got an offer from Albirex. Yeah,
Mm.
so the bosses interviewed me, and they had a plan. So Albirex has already got a soccer school for about 15 years, a Japanese language run, yeah, soccer school. But they accept local players as well, but mostly their language conducted is in Japanese.
Okay.
So we had a chat, and then they liked the idea.
Mm.
So now Albrecht has got two soccer schools. One is for Japanese speaking lessons, and one is for more towards English speaking lesson.
Okay.
Mm.
Same name for both schools?
So to differentiate it, we put it as Albrecht Soccer School and Albrecht Singapore Football Academy.
All
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
And was there any, because you work for Shoot Football Academy, that's predominantly Japanese as well.
yeah.
Were there some similarities in the way they work?
Oh yeah, I mean Japanese, the culture, the system, it's about the same. The demands, the professionalism, the style, about the same. Yeah, and um, the thing about them is the work rate. is high.
Uh,
Yeah, and the attention to detail. Yeah.
okay.
So I was thinking, if we were to work in a Japanese company, it always keeps our feet, on our toes, always on the ball, because
Mm.
they expect nothing but 100% always.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the language of command and shoot was English,
Um, was mixed. So that's where I learned my basic,
Japanese.
I would say football Japanese. Yeah.
Uh,
And till my fifth year or fourth year there. So I can not say comfortably, but I can conduct a session in Japanese. Yeah, of
ah.
language. Yeah.
Have you
And
increased your proficiency over the years? Now especially.
it took a break a little bit when I was at F17.
Uh,
When I came back to as in when I go over to Albirex, I started to pick up again. But conversations, no meetings are all in Japanese. So in Albirex, there is one our vice chairman Muiti. So if anybody don't know about him, he is a Singaporean who knows how to speak fluent Japanese and is
mm,
teach in the club. So he usually translates, vital infos and during meetings and stuff.
mm.
So he speaks fluent Japanese. I met respect to the guy.
Okay. Wiki, is it his name?
Yeah, committee. Yeah.
All right.
Hmm.
And what are the okay? This I presume now this Albirex Football Academy that you've created. It's something that you have created.
Yes.
Is your brainchild.
Yes.
Okay. What are the challenges that you faced?
All right.
Uh,
So first is of course the idea to put into locals that this Japanese club in Singapore is now accepting locals to come in.
okay.
Yeah. And then previously we have a soccer school in the West, operating in the West. So the
Hmm.
idea is to operate somewhere out of the West area. Yeah. So if I were to open in the East, it's competing with, for example, Tampines Rovers, Geylang, all the clubs and academies in the East. So there
Hmm.
was some kind of a challenge. Yeah, but it was a fresh challenge. It was a good start. We did like a soccer clinic to run, but for about a good 3 to 6 months, it was only about 30 players to 40 players. We weren't in any leagues.
Hmm.
It was just fresh, just brand new. And
Hmm.
I remember the days where we trained for about a month or two in the academy for a start, and then COVID came again. So there was this five in a box rule.
Oh, right. Yeah, I remember that.
So all this. So we had to adapt,
That,
but I would say a big thank you to my management team, my bosses, because they could have pulled the plug. Because we invested to open up an academy, and then suddenly now COVID came back. Yeah, so they kept faith, and then came the World Cup and stuff, and Ilhan Fandi came in on board, and more exposure about the academy, I would say. And then people start to experience how is it like to be in Albirex Academy and what goes around. And now we are good.
nice. And it's been 5 years, I believe, since its inception.
It's been about 3.5 years to 4. Yeah,
Oh,
three
okay.
and a half years to 4. Yeah.
And how have you seen its evolution?
Oh, I would say that backed by facts, we are one of the fastest growing academy in Singapore. I would say that. Why is because we've gone from 30 kids to now about 200 kids. Right now we are the most fielded teams in SYL with 12 teams in
Wow.
the Singapore Youth League, uh,
Mm,
including three girls team, the under 10s, 12s, and 14 girls.
mm.
And over the years, we have at least about 6 trips to Japan, bringing locals from Singapore to Japan to experience the Japanese football there.
On trial? Are they on trial there? Get an
It's like
opportunity to play?
it's more like a football tour, training tour, I would say. So
Okay.
anybody can join,
Mm.
and experience football there, coached by the J League coaches of Albirex Niigata in the Albirex Training Village. Watch a J League game, did some cultural exchange activities,
Mm.
so things like this, and the feedback, and often the education there that they bring back is awesome. Parents usually will ask me, coach, what really happened in Japan? Why my son changed a lot? You know. So I always will share this with the parents when they go from Singapore to Japan in the flight. So usually they just recline. These kids they just recline, just move back their seats, right? But when from the flight from Japan to Singapore, they will turn around and they say, "Excuse me, sir, can I move back my seat?"
Ah, okay, okay, I get it.
Yeah, so things like
Yeah.
this. And then when they go back to school, because their teachers know that they go for Japan and they go and do the sharing session and all. So
Mm.
behavior behavior change, like when they eat, they don't play with their phones,
Mm.
or when they eat, they wait for their family members to sit down first, everybody with their food, then they eat together. So
Mm.
things like this, things like this are
Good
the
habits.
good habits, good culture habits, I would
Mm.
say, that they pick up from this trip. That is the most important thing, because skills you need months and years of practice every day, to improve. Yeah, but
And is there a pathway for players from the academy to go to a Japanese club? In this case, Albirex in J League.
definitely, definitely, definitely. But in Albrecht, we have to understand that our soccer school and our academy acts like a grassroots club, like
Okay.
a grassroots academy. So we have COE. So that's where we differentiate ourselves. So when we have players who are good, who is worth the watch for or an upgrade or promotion to COE, and then we send to COE. So now
Mm.
our teams competing in JSSL and competing in SYL League. So a lot will feel that, oh, we are Albrechts, we must win, we must be in Division 1, we must win the trophy. No, no, no. We are here for development. So
Okay.
that's our philosophy, that's our vision, our aim. We go there for exposure. We play a lot of match, we try a lot of tactics, we try a lot of position. We try to create a positive environment all around
Mm.
for the players' growth. Mm,
Okay. And let's talk about a very exciting tournament that's coming up, I believe.
yeah,
The Albirex SEA Cup.
yeah.
So this sounds quite exciting. What's this all about? Tell
Yeah,
us.
so there was one day when I thought to myself, come on, think about a new challenge. Think about a new challenge. Challenge that is out of the box. Challenge that is not local. So we've been year in, year out doing local tournaments, local tournaments, local tournaments. So I thought to myself, hey, look, let's do an international tournament. Let's do a Southeast Asia kind where Albrechts can run a national tournament in those countries around us. And then from there, the winner goes to Singapore. And when the winner goes to Singapore, means you have the best of the best, right? The
Yeah.
champions. And from there, our coaching team can scout the players as well.
Mm.
And from there, we will select another 10 players from the grand finals to Japan
Mm.
and experience Japan and do a trial there where you already get the best of the best, and then the best 10 to go to Japan and for trials. So recently we had this grand finals trip, we call it. So 10 players went over, including the Thais, and also they were impressed. And then
Mm.
from there, we would want to, if best, to try to secure contracts for them.
Okay.
Yeah.
How do
And
you how would you organize these tournaments in the different Southeast Asian countries?
oh,
Because unlike Singapore, they've got many states, regions, big
yeah.
countries.
It's actually interesting because number one, there's a lot of networking homework to be done.
Mm.
Prior to this, you need to know people. You need to know a lot of
Yeah.
people, and
Yeah.
I'm super grateful for my networking contacts. I've got great people around me who's so supportive. Shout out to Tariq from Coach Hub, So at times I just give him a call. I said, Tariq, I've got this project, please. Do you know somebody there? And then he said, yeah. Let's link up. But of course, we have to have a good product in order for someone to believe in us to recommend somebody there.
Yeah.
We work hand in hand, and so far it's been enjoyable.
Mm.
Working with people, they work in different time zone, different styles. Some of
Yeah.
the countries they leave it late. Some of the countries they want it early. Uh,
Mm.
so it's a unique experience. It's a unique experience. And one more thing that I would like to highlight about this tournament is that when we worked with Brunei, and we were so lucky because the Prince of Brunei um, participated in that tournament.
Whoa.
Yeah, and it created a huge, how to say, fanfare about the tournament in Brunei. Yeah, because of the Prince Mutakim's participation. Yeah,
And I'm talking about, if you talk about the bigger Southeast Asian nations I mean they're participating some like
yeah,
Malaysia, Thailand, Indonesia. So
mm.
for these countries, do you just have one tournament or separate tournaments, then lead up to a grand final in that country?
Yeah. So for the first year, it's just like a 2 day tournament. Yeah. As we progress, countries start to do like a east west north south cup, and then the winners go to play in the central, champions versus champions kind. Yeah, because they will then earn a trip to Singapore to play the grand finals.
Okay, and so this sounds like this has been in the works for a number of years now. How long has it been?
It's the second year.
Second year.
Second
All
year.
right.
First year we got 6 countries participating. This year we've got 12,
Wow.
including invitational countries like Mongolia,
Mm.
Maldives, Sri Lanka. Yeah, recently Laos. Yeah. So yeah, it's been good, and we don't want to just stop at Southeast Asia. So after this grand finals, my next target will be to bring this tournament to maybe the Middle East,
Wow, wow.
and
Nice.
uh, and yeah, so this
The
some
rest of Asia?
rest of Asia, yeah, maybe, but yeah, I'm starting to think about Middle East, about Europe, bigger audience, bigger
Okay,
place, and to put Albrecht's flag all over the world.
nice. Wow, that sounds more exciting now. So,
Yeah.
just getting back again, which were the original six countries?
We have Indonesia, Brunei, Taiwan, Thailand, Singapore, and another one is yes, Brunei. Brunei, yes.
Yeah.
Indonesia, Thailand, Vietnam.
Okay,
Yeah.
no Malaysia.
First year Malaysia didn't participate, but this year, yes, they are.
This year they are okay. All
Yeah.
right. Okay, so when is this coming up again?
It's been running since last year November for this edition, and
Last
it's
year November. Okay.
this coming weekend as we speak is Laos. So Laos having their national finals, and then followed by Brunei. And then in May, it's going to be a busy month because everybody is doing their national rounds. There's a cup.
Okay.
And then in Singapore, June will be the grand finals, which will be played at Jurong East Stadium.
Okay.
2 days. Yeah.
What's the format of the games?
Okay. So it's open for under 17 to 19s. Yeah.
Okay.
And it's a seven-a-side format due to the travel and all. Three subs, and 25 minutes per game. Yeah. So
Mm.
our point is that not always the teams gather here in Singapore. So we try to make them play as much against each other. Yeah. So that they experience and of course they make friends along the way. Yeah. And this tournament is unique because they must have players from different backgrounds. They cannot come only from the academies or only from those who can afford, for example. Yeah. So
Okay. How do you
one
determine that?
yeah. Sorry.
How do you determine that?
So
That they
we so we put it to the contractors, our organizers, yeah, to do some background checks.
okay.
And just one story from this tournament, which give me great satisfaction, is that a player from Indonesia so came over for to Singapore for the grand finals, and he didn't met his mom for already 7 years. 7 years. And through this tournament, he got a flight ticket to Singapore and he met his mom, who is a helper here in Singapore. And they
Oh,
reunited over the 2 days, and his mom was there to watch him play and stuff. So these are the things that is more than the trophy, more than anything else, you know.
yeah, heartwarming.
This,
That's really
this is
nice.
really, really heartwarming. Yeah.
Yeah, wow, that's one wonderful story. The human story, this one.
It's a human story. It is.
Yeah, beyond football and sports.
Yes.
So
Yes.
you have to ensure that even in Singapore, you have to ensure the players are all not from the same academy, not from same school.
Yeah, they have a mix. So, for example, if it's a 12 team or 16 team tournament, so we ensure that the teams that come is not all fully, let's say, not fully SPL clubs or not fully registered academies. You know, there must be some from CDC, some from different backgrounds here and there, some from the home, for example. Yeah, so like that.
In the Singaporean context, do you ensure, are you particular about the racial divide of the teams, like the composition in terms of races?
To be honest, we didn't put that in in the clause or anything for the tournament. Yeah, but it's always good that we have a good mix of players. Yeah,
Mm.
my teams always will have mixed players. I love to have a team photo. I think on my Facebook cover page, I have a team photo which have diverse race of Singaporeans in one team. That's always been my thing. So yeah, so it's always good. It's always good to have.
Okay, so for the Singaporean leg of this tournament, is the registration open? Is it closed?
We have concluded the Singapore national rounds.
All
Yeah,
right.
in December last year. It's gonna open one more time in December this year for the next edition. Yeah,
Okay.
so watch out for that. We will share the information when the time comes.
Who are the Singaporean champions?
It's the players from International French School.
Ah, okay.
Yes. So they powered their way. Actually, they joined. They are our school partner. So Albirex, we have a contract with the International French School. So we
Mm.
invited them to play, and they powered their way through. They won 9 out of 9 games,
Ah,
and they are representing Team Singapore.
okay. That's interesting.
Yeah.
The coach was a former S-League player, if I'm not wrong.
Yes. No. Yeah.
Oh,
From
Nordin, right?
Nordin. Yes. No.
Yes,
No.
Nordin. Yeah, Nordin is the coach. Yes.
Nice guy.
Yeah, he is. And wow, that's an interesting take on it. The French representing Singapore.
Yes. I would, however, hope to be honest, a Singapore flavor. Yeah. But we have, however, a team that is representing like a full Singapore team, which is IT College West, who are our school partners. Yeah. So they will select a team of 10 players and they will participate in the grand finals. Yeah, so this is part of
Okay.
the partnership that we have with the school. So,
Okay.
okay, yeah, there's some Singaporean there.
Uh, and on that note also, which other schools are you all partnering with or and also at the same time organizations?
Okay, we have Tanglin Trust International School, Anderson Primary, International French School, some kindergartens that our soccer school has, Japanese International Kindergarten and stuff. Yeah,
Anderson Primary or Henderson?
Anderson is the one.
Henderson in Bukit Merah.
Yeah, Anderson Primary, and
Okay.
of course IT College West. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm.
Predominantly still more like southwest Singapore in Singapore.
Yeah, I would say that. I'll say that.
That's your catchment area.
I'll say that. Yeah.
Closer to the stadium. I believe there is also the link up between the academy and getting new fans for the team in the
It is, it
SPF.
is, it is. So recently we had these schools, so they send their players over, and during the halftime, so we had the pitch divided into two, and we had them playing against each other in front of the fans. So it was a good experience for them, even though it lasted only about 12 minutes or so, halftime. But I'm sure the players bring back good memories. Yeah, and then opportunities like player escort, ball
Mm.
boys. Yeah, so they love it. They love it. Yeah.
Okay. And how would you say the academy has contributed to grassroots and professional football in
Um,
Singapore?
I would say the Japanese flavor of football impacting the youths of Singapore, the local youths that join us, is on the positive side, but they would be like reacting not shocked, but they're like kind of surprised because in Albrecht and most of the teams in Japan for youth, often we ask the players to bring their own football.
Oh,
Yeah, so we don't provide them football. Why is because if you want to be a guitarist, you gotta own your own guitar, right? You gotta play that guitar and you gotta master the notes.
yeah.
So we want the players to have this approach. Bring your own football, take care of your own football, and overcome challenges with your own football in terms of, for example, your technical ability to
Mm,
improve with your juggling. And
mm,
juggling is not just juggling with their laces, for example. It's like variations of it.
mm,
How to pass the ball well. Those backspin pass, those technical kind of passes,
mm,
lofted pass, not just a pass. Yeah, and like free kick situation. Japanese are very good in free kicks, right?
mhm,
So most of them, right? But I feel that because they master the ball, and when we coach youth, the number one thing is fun, and the other one is aligns with that is the technical part. So these are where we want to polish it and do a lot of ball mastery, a lot of ball feeling, they call it. Yeah. Mm.
And this can be any kind of ball. So it doesn't have to be a uniform certain brand.
So yeah, it doesn't have so that similar to this topic was a topic about player jersey selection.
Okay.
So over at Albirex for the academy, we don't give like jersey numbers of like, for example, 77, 83, 63. We let them choose their favorite numbers, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, for example, because we want the players to dream,
Mm,
to feel, I need to work hard in, I want to play like not my idol number 7,
mm,
whoever, blah blah blah. And that's where with the football as well. So we want them to be comfortable with that ball that they choose, to take care of the ball, to make sure the air pressure is there. And also, to be honest, not many people owns a air pump, the ball pump.
yeah.
So when there's no air, they have to take responsibility to go to approach a coach. Coach, I need to pump the ball. Okay, go. Have this. Yeah. So we have a weekly Zoom session with the parents every Tuesday,
Mm,
and we use the session to do some football education for parents, to
mm,
share our ideas and thoughts about our philosophies, and also to check on the players. So we often tell the parents, don't do their laundry. Let them put their jerseys in the laundry basket themselves. Let them prepare their boots. Make sure they do their beds. So all these things, yeah, because at the end of the day, Russ, I think only about 5% or even 2% can make it for the professional football.
yes.
Yeah. And the rest, they will be parents, they will be elder brothers, and all for their family and their company and in the workplace. So we want to ensure that we develop good human beings in Albrecht.
And even then, besides that, also, I think they can all, if they don't be professional footballers, they still will play the game amateurly at a grassroots level.
Yeah,
And you don't want the, you want this kind of good characters in the game,
you're
even
right.
at amateur level. Yeah,
Right. You're right. You're right. You're right. Definitely.
that is very true. And when you talk about taking care of your own ball and all that, it reminds me of national service in Singapore. If you are in the army, they will say, take care of your rifle, like your wife. I've heard that a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's some sense of responsibility there, right? Yeah.
Yeah, you must take care of it like your wife, they say.
Yeah. So for us, take care like it's your best friend. Go
Mm,
on and then try to do good things with the football.
mm.
Yeah.
Okay. And what role does the academy play in developing local talent?
I think first and foremost the character building. Yeah, for this I think character building we play a huge part. And in my role, I ensure that the coaches conduct the sessions align with our curriculum, which includes all these values and principles in. There's some like monthly we have a topic, and often they will talk about it. You know, and yeah, the my late coach Siva. So he used to do this all the time after training session. He will just not talk about football. He will just talk about life.
Mm.
And until today, we can still remember his advice and so on. Yeah. So I think it's very important, to guide the players along this direction.
And it sounds very much, there's a very strong emphasis on values and qualities that are aside from football. So if you have someone that signed up for the academy, maybe you got the parents a bit too focused on results. Like, I want to win, I don't care about the values, or the player is showing those kind of traits, what happens then?
So this actually happened. This actually happened. So we do some case study here. So last year, so parents they want their players to clinch the under 8 title, and so on, and try to win games and this and that. Of course, in football, we tell the players it's a game of two teams trying to outscore each other. Eventually, if you do well, you have the luck, you have the skills, you have the teamwork and hard work, you will win.
Mm.
But you must put in the training and all. So before all that, the players have to come to the training, have to be committed, have to dedicate themselves. But if the players don't come for training and then go for games and then parents expect results and then start to comment a lot of things. And in Singapore, I feel that the most um, difficult thing to do is to get them to be loyal to a club or an academy. And I
Yes.
speak for all academies. I just wish that for any academy in Singapore, if you have a player from under 6, they stay with you all the way until under 19 or until they graduate. This is
Mm.
my wish for all the academy directors or all the academy people, all the coaches, because coaches, they plan for the session and for the player. Touch our heart, we care about players a lot. And I speak for all the coaches. They will want to see a player rise up in the academy. Even if they don't take the next year's age category, they go on. At least, the player is not confused. Already we have school games, and then academies. And then suddenly, oh, this player is playing for another academy in another
Uh,
league. Oh, then it gets very stressful actually for the players. So
yeah.
different set of instruction, different set of curriculum,
Right.
and it's quite tough. Yeah. So yeah.
And on that note also, any success stories, players that have come through the academy and gone on to professional football?
Um, in the past, we have about 20 to 30 graduates from the academy to COE. Okay, means they sign on with either Albirex COE squads from the under 13s onwards, or they would have gone to sign on with, for example, like Balestier COE or Tampines Rovers or something like that. So we wish them well because we feel very fulfilled of our job. One player in particular is Akif. So Akif joins the academy as a 13-year-old guy, and then rose to the ranks, joined the COE, and then went on to the NDC. So
Mm.
the NDC, and then played in the Lion City Cup
Okay.
recently. And then he's now playing an age group higher in the COE. Yeah, so he's now 15. He's playing for the under 17s, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, so he's one hard worker, skillful guy, but with good parenting guidance. Yeah.
Mm.
So mad respect to his parents for always keeping his head grounded.
Mm.
Yeah. So often we will have a close chat with the parent to us, and they don't want to just listen to the good side of things. They really want their kid to, coach. Not say coach, you can scold him. No, coach, guide him and make sure he's always working hard. Yeah.
Mm.
Mm.
Okay. Is there a kind of rivalry between academies in Singapore?
Ah, rivalries. Maybe in a healthy way, I say. Maybe a
Mm.
healthy way. And currently, let's be honest, we have the SYL League, the Singapore
Yeah.
Youth League. Yeah. And we have one team which represents the Singapore junior team, which is the JNDC.
Yeah.
I tell you, I think every coach who takes any of his team secretly wants to get a good result against GNDC. Yeah,
Okay.
because they have the best players, right?
Yeah.
If you come back from to the office and you say, hey, today our team got a good result against the JNDCs. Oh, they feel good. The players also feel good.
Yeah.
Yes. So at the moment, I think it's that, uh, but it's a good kind of rivalry. Yeah, I won't call it rivalry. Yes, it's a good challenge. Yeah, it's
Mm.
a good challenge. Yeah.
On the flip side, is there Albirex is a professional football club in Singapore,
Mhm.
or rather a subsidiary, you could call it,
Yeah.
from the Japanese team. Is there a good collaboration between Albirex and all the other SPL clubs?
Oh, you'd be surprised. I've seen firsthand our bosses sending gifts, and we receive gifts from other clubs. So the collaboration is there. As in, some kind of like maybe mini events or so to support here and there. Yeah, of course. Yeah, we try to work hand in hand. Yeah, with the other clubs. So Albrechts, we are friends with most of the people around. Yeah. So yeah.
Okay, nice. And yeah, I mean, recently there was also the unfortunate incident that involved the Albirex player as well. Was that the boy? Was the boy a part of the academy previously?
No, he wasn't. He was a direct COE player. Yeah.
Okay. And
Yeah.
how did the club deal with this internally? I mean, I know it's not no fault of the boy,
Yeah,
but
I mean, I wouldn't want to comment so much about the incident because it's already dealt with and done, and the relationship with Tanjong Pagar is always good. But from from the incident, we are actually proud with how our players conduct themselves. So there wasn't a big brawl on the field.
yeah.
So that has always been the thing in LPIC, to stay calm, to not react, to not provoke, to not fight. So we condone violence. So when we play our football from the under six all the way to the top team, it's a fair play kind of game. We challenge hard for the ball, not for the leg. So
Mm.
these are the good things and the good values that I would say that is in Albrecht, that we want to focus on for our players. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great value. I am completely in agreement with you. That's exactly how I want to see football as well. Um, Especially in this level, especially at the amateur grassroots level. Okay, on that note also, when you're talking about going for the ball, not for the leg, you might want to inculcate that values for your team. But when you play against another team that have a different mindset to you, how would the coaches react at the sidelines? Is there a guideline tell them, don't get involved? too much. Let them focus on the game.
Yeah,
Don't
it,
don't get too
internally,
chatty with the referee.
correct. Internally, there's there are club fines and all internally, right? So
Okay.
for us to always remain calm, and those we in Albirex we have almost weekly coach education workshops. Yeah,
Mm,
so always we will remind each other, try to be as professional as possible. And if such thing occurs during the game, so we have to see. For example, if it's a kids game, so the referee is there, the organizers are there, and between coach and coach, so we take it in a calm manner. I've been hated by a player for taking a player out because he was diving too full and he was reacting. But as a coach, it's the right thing to do to take the player out.
mm,
So to avoid all these brawls and all. So we remain firm with our stand to want to see the beautiful game.
yeah.
It- Sometimes players they get very uh,
Emotional.
emotional, and sometimes you know from the stands, some comments or some
Oh, yeah.
just
Provocation.
yeah. So, but always when a player reacts, don't only look at the player there and then. You might never know. Sometimes we had a chat with the player. Why did you react? Oh, actually, coach, I have a pressure. I just lost someone, or for example, I'm going through a bad patch. Ah, okay. Sometimes in training also these days, the players come for training, you might see them not going to give their 100%. But when you have a chat with them, hey, why didn't you give your 100% or you feel very weak? Oh, I was from a school game. I played 90 minutes. Ah, why didn't you tell us? You get what I mean? So
Yeah.
I feel like these days, the youths, they are very quiet. They're not expressive. So
Mm,
that's where we as coaches, we have to design our training as such as it's like a guided discovery kind where there's a lot of question and answers, a lot
mm.
of peer-to-peer problem solving, So
Mm.
that's where they talk. Yeah. And they express themselves.
That's really interesting, man. And that on that point also, it reminded me of a conversation, an interview I had with a legendary Singapore striker, and he mentioned about an incident he had, a very infamous incident, which was also related to something that's going on in his personal life. So, yeah, I can relate. I can recollect that now. And you
Yeah.
mentioned, sometimes it's not just that in that moment, the guy lost his head. It could be some external factors.
Yeah, like the Tanjong Pagar player, I personally wish for him to come back to football once he
Mm,
has done his dues. Uh,
mm,
because I think nobody will just react in that way, and he's still young. Hopefully, he can learn something from this experience. Everybody can learn something from this experience, and to better uh, hold himself in such situation. Yeah.
All right. So, what does a normal day to day look like for the academy, for coaches and for players?
Yeah, so we have in the academy about 13 coaches, mix of part-time and full-timers. So the full-timers, they go to the office 9 to 6 or 9 to 5 like this. And then for part-timers, they have their full-time job, but they are committed because they have an SYL team, which they are in charge. And then trainings are always after their working hours. So they plan for sessions. So I'm the bad cop who always ask for their training plans,
Okay.
because as a coach, I feel that training plans are bread and butter. Coach need to plan more. Yeah, players play, coaches plan.
Mm.
Yeah, so this is my how to say demand to
Philosophy.
philosophy. Yeah, coaches, you have time, you have a lot of time to plan for the session. It,
Okay.
it can't be a player comes to training and then after that, oh, what do you want to do today? Or just what the coach feels like to do today. And in years in experience in this coaching line, I know a coach when they don't plan the session. So
Mm.
they start to hold the markers and they start to stand in the center of the field and just like
Give,
you know?
give.
Yeah, but the beauty of planning a session is if you plan a session and do some research a bit, not so like so chill. You just do some research a bit about what kind of nice activities to do related to the topic
Mm.
and the age group, and then it will benefit at the end of the day the players. Yeah, so there's value in it. Not just go in the session and just go out after and then collect money and finish. No. So I'm blessed to have a good coaching team who is always wanting to learn, wanting to do their best for the players. Players first. Yeah.
Mm. All right. And what time are the coaching sessions at?
About 5:30 to 7 p.m., about 7 to 8:30 p.m. Yeah, like this.
In Jurong East Stadium?
And Jurong East Stadium, in Jurong East Futsal, and sometimes in schools. Yeah, in schools, our partner schools. Yeah, so we
Oh,
some
okay.
programs for them. Yeah.
And in terms of running an academy, what are some of the key aspects of running a successful football academy that people might not realize?
I feel that the philosophy, the vision of a club, and the coaching quality. Yeah. And in this uh, recent years, I felt that communication to parents is key,
Mm.
because parents, they don't know what they like, what's in need for their kids, or
Mm.
what are the details. For example, they don't need to know, but it's good that they know. Like parents, okay, next week we are doing this subject. The coach will look out for this. That, our Singaporean parents are educated, and they kind of like, oh, okay, so player reports. So you are looking at the technical side, the tactical side, and the physical side. Oh, coach, I didn't know. Yeah, okay. So then we explain to them, yeah, the technical side, you can be good physically in your age, but then maybe a player lacks the technical part, for example, what to work on. So maybe they can use only one feet, but now is our job to do, to let the players play both feet. Something like this along the line. Mm.
Okay. And in terms of the coaching, the coaches, how do you maintain a high level of quality in terms of coaches and in terms of selection of players as well?
For coaches, so we get coaches to share their session. We go down on the ground ourselves on training days to allow the coach to run their session. After seeing their plans, and then after that engage in a review session after. Yeah.
Okay.
So always getting it fresh right after the session is good. Sometimes if not, then we video the session and we do some reviews. Okay.
Mm.
But to understand better and not just barge in a session and say, okay, blah, 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 unless it's really, really, how to say, like dangerous or safety concern or something like that, then okay.
Yeah.
But other than that, first we allow the coach to plan, we review it, and then they go into the session, they run it, and then after that, we have some chat about it. Yeah.
All right. Do you talent scout coaches from other academies or other places?
Um, Talent scout, maybe some. Yeah, maybe a bit, but not so much. We when I started the academy, so I know of a few coaches that worked with me before, so I did invite them to come, but they were unattached. They were not with any academies at that time. And then one in particular, so Coach Daniel. He's now the academy manager. So we scout him. Yeah. At that time, he was just doing school football, so no conflict as well. Yeah. And recently, for the part-time coaches, we open up the like a job search for them to apply, so they come. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm.
And in Singapore, it seems like academies are a dime a dozen. There's so many academies around. But still, nevertheless, okay, on that aspect as well, so many academies around. Are there enough players to go around?
I wish. I wish. We have, like you mentioned, a lot of academies, a lot. So it really is sometimes the hard work of the academy to build a good product so that word of mouth or maybe some social media marketing can do the
Mm,
work to get the
mm,
players onto the first training or trial. But the trial for a pay-to-play academy like us, our model, isn't guarantee you that every player who comes in for trial is going to sign for you. So
mm,
that's where the coaching comes in.
mm.
That's where the parents got to realize what actually they are signing up their son for. You get what I mean? So that's where our team is on the ground to explain to parents and to demonstrate live for the first session what could actually be the sessions that their son will go into, the kind of quality.
Okay. And if still someone wants to create a successful football academy of their own, what advice would you give?
Um, wow. I would say first to play football. I would say first to play football often, to be in the game, to really I mean, have good coaches who understands the game, who understands that age group that you're opening up to,
Mm,
because not everyone can coach a 6 year old, not everyone can coach an 8 year old, not everybody understands recreation football. You know, some coaches are better off with the professionals, with the under 21s, for example. So
mm.
the recruitment is important. Um, yeah, so worry about this and in Singapore, I think field venue.
Oh, oh,
But recently, I think Active SG has done quite, Sports SG has done us quite a good favor. Actually, when you go to the website, you can see a lot of available pitch. Yeah, but whether you can do a long term booking or not, is subject.
yeah. Subject to their approval, of course.
Yes, you're right. You're right. You're right.
And what are future plans for your academy?
Future plans, we want to expand to all the Southeast Asia countries to have an Albirex Academy there, one each. And yeah, to create more of the Albirex International Tournament, eventually to make it into a like a Continental Cup or World Cup in the future.
Oh, that wonderful. That'll be wonderful. I wish you all the best in that.
Thank you. Thank you.
I think that is really something to look forward to. I think you've done well so far, whatever you've been doing.
Thank you so much.
And because you see it on social media as well, it's coming out. But now I think the next step, as you mentioned, Southeast Asia, then continent.
Mhm.
And now before we end up, let's talk about the future of Singapore football. You are
Sure.
dealing with the future of Singapore football as well.
Yeah.
Uh, with the UTR project now producing more young players annually, but there are limited professional football clubs in Singapore. So
Mhm.
do you think semi-pro and amateur leagues should be better prepared for the influx of players that are coming out, and also for the possibility of someone to be like a late bloomer? They might
Mhm.
have missed the professional football club at a younger age, but then do well in the amateur level and then get another chance at the professional game.
Mhm. Um, I think yeah, I think we've seen for ourselves how much of a rank Shawal Anwar has rose from the Division 1 of NFL to the SPL and so on.
Mm.
And I've known some good players who plays in those league. So of course, an upgrade is always good. You know, an upgrade is always good, but upgrade on how to run a club of a semi-pro structure, like proper training, proper grounds, proper administrative, and also organization of the tournament,
Mhm.
because these NFL clubs, yeah, I think most, in my opinion, maybe they have training maybe once, or if good enough, two times, and then they go for games. Yeah. So if you really want to run proper and you want players to be promoted and all, there must be some kind of structure for them. For example, say a company represents a club, and then in that company of 10,000 workers, you have 20 footballers who plays from 9 to 3. No, no, who works from 9 to 3
Okay.
and goes for training together.
Okay.
And
Right. Right.
for example,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. Or you choose maybe, I don't know. Yeah, some things like this, some ideas to run by. Yeah, but yeah, to get more Shawal Anwars, we have to do a little bit more.
Mm. And do
Yeah.
you think the professional football clubs are not exactly paying too much attention to amateur teams, that there could be some hidden gems there?
Um, I think statistically, no. I think maybe some clubs, but not most of the clubs. Because when you have your young lions and you have, your under 21s, they tend to take the players from the under 21s, or you know,
uh
from the clubs to clubs, for example.
yeah.
Yeah. Or for Albirex, maybe take some from Japan. Yeah.
Mm,
These. Yeah. Mm, yeah, but I hope there's more scouting in the NFL, right?
mm,
Like, for example, in my opinion, ultimately you can know the best player in, or the top performing players in the NFL from the awards night,
uh,
right? The
yeah.
let's ask, in the last three editions of the season of NFL, all the play of the year, all the top scorers, where are they now? Are they playing in
Yeah.
any SPL? Are they sitting on the bench even? So with that, then we gotta think a little bit.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, that's good. A good point.
Uh,
Yeah.
mm.
All right, Abil, thanks a lot for sharing extensively,
Most
and
welcome.
especially an insight into Albirex Singapore Football Academy, what you do, your philosophy, your motto. I think it's really unique, because a lot of times it's like there's a lot of emphasis on winning, a lot of emphasis on win at all costs, and sometimes things get ugly. But I think the very important thing is character building.
Yes.
Then, later, football. Of course, football qualities matter too. When you're running an academy, a football team, a
Mm.
professional club, football qualities matter too. But look at the person first,
Yeah.
the personality, the character, and then look for a player in that person. I think that's really good. I wish you all the best.
Thank you, Ras. Thank you so much. I wish you all the best too.
Thank you very much. We'll be looking out for your developments on social media.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Cheers.
All right.
Take
Thank
care.
you.
And this is me, Ras, signing out. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to us. Bye bye.